Okay, so now we're going to go into the upper city and the lower city, and we're going to cross the or look at the Cheesemonger Valley. I wanted to point out some descriptions from Josephus. Josephus is describing the city and is giving more detail in the city before or at the time of the destruction of the city in 70 AD. He says, the city of Yirusalem was fortified with 3 walls on such parts as were not encompassed with impassable valleys. So when we're looking at the city, now this is based on the Roman and Edomite map of Jerusalem, but we notice that we see the impassable valleys right here, and it comes around also here, and so we see that there are impassable valleys, like they can't get to it. Also right here on the Temple Mount, this is a very deep valley and wide area. Okay, this is a very deep area, and as Josephus said, the Romans decided to attack us from the northern ridge. But I'm talking about this part right here. This is called the Cheesemonger Valley. This is a very deep area, but part of it has been covered in, and also with Hadrian and the Ishmaelites, the Ammonites, and the Moabites who covered up this area. And we'll see. We'll actually walk it on 3D Google. And so as we were saying, this is the Temple Mount area, or Mount Moriah. And when we come across here, and we come to the Cheesemonger Valley. Okay, the Cheesemonger Valley, it also covered all of this area. And so those are the deep valleys that were there in the city. Josephus says, for in such places it had but one wall. The city was built upon two hills, which are opposite to one another. So we have 2 hills that are opposite one to another. Okay, when we look at the site, we see 2 hills opposite one another. This is the upper city, and this is the lower city. But we also have 2 hills. This is the citadel area where Zion is, and also we have directly across from it, we have the Acre hill or mountain. Okay, one hill is higher than the other. We'll see this when we watch the video. Josephus also says, at which valley the corresponding rows of houses on both hills end. Of these hills, that which contains the upper city is much higher and in length more direct. So he's saying here that the upper city, not only is it higher, but it's also a longer hill, which is true when you look at the map. Okay, this is the raised area, but it also slopes downwards all the way down to the southern bottom of the city. Okay, and over here is the smaller hill is directly opposite of the upper hill. Let's see, the upper city is much higher and in length more direct. Accordingly, it was called the citadel by King Daud, and he was the father of that Solomon, who built his temple at the first, but 'tis by us called the upper marketplace. But the other hill, which was called Acra, and sustains the lower city, is of the shape of a moon when she is horned, or a crescent moon is what he's talking about. So I'm going to use this to represent a crescent moon so that you can see the outline of it. Okay, so we have so this is the raised area. We'll see it when we get on the video, but it comes around this way and it arcs up right here, and this is opposite of the upper city. This is the Cheesemonger Valley. It dips down below it, but right here in this area right here seems to be flatter for some reason. It looks like it's been spread out. And Josephus says this, the other hill, which was called Acra and sustains the lower city, is of the shape of a moon when she is horned. Over against this there was a third hill, but naturally lower than Acra, and parted over against this, and parted formerly from the other by a broad valley. So we're looking at the broad valley right here. This area. Here's a crescent. Okay. And then this is the broad valley. A broad valley. So this was a deep area, a deep sunken area. And then back here, there's another hill. But naturally lower than Acra and parted formerly from the other by a broad valley. However, in those times, when the Asmoneans reigned, they filled up that valley with earth and had a mind to join the city to the temple. So they were trying to join the city to the temple right here in this temple area. Okay, we have the moat right here, and then this was this area. And so this area right here is what they took off of Acra, where they cut it down and they shifted all of the dirt into this area right here. And you can tell, even from Google, you can tell that this is what they displaced. Okay, so now at this time we're gonna walk the 3D view. We're at what they call Telluride, but this is actually the Baris, or Antonio Fortress. We're looking at the Antonio Fortress from between the colonnades, and this is where the Temple Mount stood. This area right here, and now we're gonna travel. Going along the Roman siege mounds. This is a Roman siege mounds. I believe Josephus said that there was 4 of them, and we're coming along. You see, this is a high area. The first siege mound was on Baris, or Antonio Fortress, where they attacked, and then this is the northern. The northern ridge that had a fosse where there was a deep area, and that they covered it up. The Romans did. They covered it with their mounds so that they could climb up onto the first floor of the temple. Okay, so right here, we're still moving along the ridge, and now we're starting to come out to the. We're moving slowly. Oh, here, let's move us along, but follow along. Okay, we're coming to the edge of the okay, we're at the edge of the Roman siege mounds, and we look across. Okay, the Roman siege mounds are going back this way, and right here we're standing in the valley, or what is now what they covered of the valley. Now over here, this is the Accra. This is the tip of Accra that we were looking at earlier. Okay, as you can tell, we're standing here that this is a ridge. This is a high mountain, a high ridge area, and then we have the upper city right here, and you can tell this is an upper city. Okay, this is not some low hill, and we're gonna see here in a minute. So I'm gonna travel along, and now we're starting to go upwards into the upper city, and we're gonna turn. Okay, we're still going on the upper city. This is the let's see which way. I'm looking at the Temple Mount area, and see it's down. It's down from us. You can tell we're looking at Accra, and then we're starting to go up. Up the mountain, or the upper city. Okay. We're crossing the valley, and now we're starting to go upwards. It's a drastic change in elevation. Okay, a drastic change in elevation. We're looking right now at the Temple Mount area is down here. Okay, this is the upper city. We're gonna go up a little bit higher. And we're gonna look at the lower city. We're looking at the lower city. Okay, we're gonna go up just a little bit more higher. Okay, now we're at the not the highest part of the upper city, but this is the high part of the actual city of Dawid, and this is the upper city. It's a lot higher elevation, and we're looking at the Temple Mount area. I'm pointing us at the Temple Mount area, and it's a lot higher elevation than it's a lot higher elevation than the Temple Mount area. And let's see if I can find this. One more pick. So you can see that this is it's a higher area, and then there's going to be a slope now. It's coming back downwards. It's like a ridge. Okay, now we're getting into the green trees, and this is what they have covered the city of Dawid with the green trees. The next video will be over the city of Dawid. We're going to take a closer look at it. We'll see the Gihon Spring, what has been done to it, and all the artifacts, King Dawood's tomb, all of those things are still there. So this is the upper city and the lower city.